I want to welcome you all to our conference call that's going to take place in about another 5 minutes or so. So if you're with me, go ahead and introduce yourself. Who's on the call with us?
Latoya from Columbus, Ohio.
You said Latoya? You said Latoya?
Shatoya from Columbus, Ohio.
Latoya, welcome to the call. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for being here.
No problem.
Who else is with us? Go right ahead and introduce yourself.
This is Lynn Thornhill from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Is that Lynn?
Yeah.
Hello, Lynn. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for being with us today. Go ahead, Sam. Anyone else wants to introduce yourself? Right here, we're going to get started in about another 5 minutes. Give everyone a chance to dial in.
This is Pat Tolliver, Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio is representing. Hello, welcome to the call.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Paul Chapman, Fredericksburg.
Hi, Forrest, representing Fredericksburg, Virginia. How are you?
We're doing great, thank you.
Wonderful. Go on the team there in Fredericksburg. Keith, comment, Sam, if you'd like to go right ahead and introduce yourself. We're going to get started at about 5 after.
This is Cassandra from Upper Marlboro.
Welcome to the call. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good to be here. Good to hear you.
Good to hear you, too.
Appreciate you all dialing in this evening for this evening call. We're not going to keep you long. We just want to share some things with you as we're growing. We have a lot of things happening. It's always good just to touch pulse and touch base and just get some good encouraging words as we go forward. So if you haven't done so already, go right ahead and introduce yourself.
Paul Jackson from Heights, Maryland.
Hello, Mr. Jackson. How are you, sir?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Fantastic. Good to hear you this evening.
Thank you.
Well, you know the leaders, boy, they just show up and show out, don't they?
All the time.
Great job, guys. Great job.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Jesse's joining the call.
All right, Jesse. How are you, sir? I see you're not at the Pentagon at this moment.
Outstanding, Pastor.
Good to hear you. Just how things going?
Oh, great.
Wonderful.
I'm working on some big things, Pastor Denise.
Yeah, that's right. I think we all are. Moving. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get this thing moving.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to throw some turbo in there, huh?
That's right. I am.
Turbocharged. Well, family, it's 7 o'clock, and I want to thank each and every one of you who have dialed in and who is on time with the call. I'm going to give just a couple of more minutes for folks to dial in. We're going to go ahead and open up and turn this over to our speaker for today. I just want to give a couple of minutes and make sure everybody has a chance to get in. Introduce yourself. If you haven't done so already, go right ahead and introduce yourself.
Jeannie from Columbus, Ohio.
All right. Well, welcome to the call. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Are you guys excited about this weekend, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Super Saturday.
I hope we get some pictures and some video clippings and all that good stuff for those who can't be there. We can catch it all on Facebook or YouTube or something, huh?
You'll get it, Dwight Washington from Dayton, Ohio.
Hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. And yourself?
I'm doing great, Mr. Washington. Doing great. Good to hear you.
Nice talking to you as usual.
Yes, sir. Okay, if anyone else would like to introduce yourself before we open up? And if not, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to leave it open. I think we can, if we get to a problem where, well, I may have to mute out. Let me mute out.
The conference is now in presentation mode. Your line is muted.
There's going to be some noise in the background, and we don't want that to happen. This is Pastor Denise McDowell. I want to thank you all for dialing this evening. We're not going to keep you long, but we just wanted to, touch base with everyone. We've been having quite a few little meetings that's going from team to team and from place to place and coast to coast, and there's a lot of great, wonderful things happening, and we just wanted to just share some answer questions for everyone. We've had a lot of people that's been down, either Pastor Joe and myself and Mr. T or Robert Hickens and Mel and Amy, just with some questions and things like that. So this is going to be one of those calls where we're going to try to answer everybody's questions. Hopefully we give some information to everyone as we're growing as a team, because we are tremendously growing every day. As I've always said, there's always a solution to every problem. There's always an answer to every question. And many times when we're meeting with our team and we're looking at team growth and what to do to make it bigger, what to do to make it better, what do we need to do to enhance what we're already doing, because Team Effort Network is rapidly growing around the globe. And we want to add whatever tools, whatever information that we can get to really turbo our growth and take it to the next level. And usually when I'm looking for that type of information, I will call Mel Gill, I will call Amy, or I will call Robert Hicken, and I always receive a wonderful response. I always receive very good information. My last conversation I had was with Amy and with Robert, and we were talking. It was just some wonderful information that was shared, and I thought, wow, it'd be good to share this with the team, just today to give a word of encouragement and to inspire you, to uplift you, and to give you information to take and to run with it. We started way back in 2013 with Team Effort Network, and we know that it's been said, the quote that says, coming together is the beginning, keeping together is the progress, working together is success. And that's what we want to always do with Team Effort Network, is to work together, work to make sure we're looking at our goals, accomplishing them, just getting questions, answers, and concerns answered as we go forth. As Mel Gill said, we're going to 50 million this year. I believe with full heart, and I just want to just have everyone to come together so we can hear from corporate through Robert Hickens. I want to say Robert Hickens, for those of you who may not know, many of us do, Robert has been with Team Effort Network or Team Effort International from its conception. So he's been with Melanie McGill from the very beginning. He works with Melanie McGill hand in hand every day. He is on the front line from corporate, answering calls for us, taking care of our support tickets, working on different things on that end of the company, and working with the field. He's also field directors and communication. So a lot of times we're all calling Robert, and he's answering all of our questions. So we figured, let's get everybody on the call at one time, and that way Robert can give us some information, answer those questions to everybody at one time. Just kind of encourage, inspire, lift us up, and give us the information we're looking for. So without further ado, I'm going to move aside, and I'm going to bring to the call Fields of Director, Communications, so many titles, Robert. I don't know which one you are right now, Director of Fields Communication. So let's welcome to the call, family, Robert Hicken. Robert, are you there? Uh-oh. Are you there, Robert? Are you on the speaker? Do I need to unmute? Let me unmute to see if you're there.
All participants are now unmuted.
Okay, Robert, are you there? Our guest speaker is not here. Hold on one moment, family. Hold on.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. I can. Do we need to mute? Are you in the speakerphone?
Well, I'm on the host line here. Hang on, I'll mute it out.
Okay.
The conference is now in presentation mode. Your line is muted.
I was on mute and I wasn't able to switch over real quick. How are you?
I'm doing great, Robert. We have quite a few that's already on the call. I'm not sure if you want at the beginning to hear the introduction, but we have definitely Cincinnati, Ohio, Washington, D.C., Maryland, quite a few that are on the call. Introduce yourself at the beginning. And I'm not sure when you got on, but I've already introduced you and talked a little bit about your credentials, and I just turned it over to you.
I heard all the people that were checking in, everybody from from all over the place, and I know that there's some big things going on this weekend with
Yes.
some trainings, and I have to say that I'm a little disappointed that I can't be there, because I know Pastor Dale's going to be there, and I know everybody that's on fire over there with Denise Moore and her whole team, and I think Vicky Soda is going to be there as well. It's going to be an amazing event. I could feel all the energy from listening to the morning calls in the morning with you guys and talking about this event coming up. And I heard Pastor Dale talking about it the other day, and I could just feel, all the momentum. And I wish that I was able to travel out there and be a part of it. Can't make it this time, but I'm hoping, in the future that I'll be able to fly around and make it to some of these events. Obviously, I'm here on the West Coast. It's a little bit easier for me to make it to the events that are out here. A lot of them are just, within driving time. So you see some of the videos from those events, and that's really part of why I really would love to make it out to some of the events on the East Coast and everywhere in between, because I capture a lot of video. I really get the excitement, and there's so much going on in the company right now that, it's amazing to just share all the video clips, all the testimonies, the footage of everybody dancing and having excitement and everything that goes on. But this time, at the event, my understanding is it's going to be some real intense high-end training. And I love to hear that, because I know that people that have been in the business for a while, whether it's 6 months or it's been a year, really are looking for the high level training, something that's above and beyond the basics, something that will allow them to walk away from that event and apply it to their business right now, right today, so I can continue building my business and go forward and be successful and reach the levels that you've reached. Congratulations, as always. And even above that. And so, as well as I do, we have people around the world from our other divisions who have maxed out this compensation plan. We have 10 stars around the world, and that's one of the reasons why we're so excited about 10, is because we have the same compensation plan now enhanced to these incredible products, and we know that everything that's been done in the past is going to be done and is being done now, with everybody who literally just goes to work and makes it happen. So we're really excited here at corporate to see everything that you guys are doing out there in the field. It's been amazing. Hopefully you've seen some of the video footage of some of the events that have been going on. It's not the pictures and stuff like that. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of momentum. There are a lot of people overseas that are having momentum and excitement as well as there's a lot of people overseas who are looking and waiting just anxiously for us to arrive where they're at. So some really good things. Hopefully you saw the flag that went out. We just moved the corporate office to a new location, not too far from where we were at before, but brand new building, brand new office, absolutely amazing, really, really incredible views. And it's a nice fresh start for everybody, and hopefully sometime here in the future we'll have another meet and greet where people can fly in and come in and actually see the new office and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that, because I love to meet everybody. I get to hear you guys' names on the calls, and sometimes I'll see you on Facebook and stuff, but when I get to actually meet you and shake your hands and get out there and really get to know who you are, that's the fun of it. That's what I love to do. So, Pastor Denise, let me know what it is that do we want to do kind of a Q&A? Do we want to cover anything specific? What would you like to talk about?
Well, I think probably would be good if you shared some of the things that you and Amy and I spoke about in regards to the high. You mentioned it just a few minutes ago. The high-level training, the PowerPoint presentations, and the presenting of a good PowerPoint, and what's a good one, what's a not good one. The blueprint, following the blueprint, the system, reading, encouraging yourself. And am I giving you too much at one time? So kind of like where we're from this. I just wanted you to share that bulk of information. I thought it was very encouraging and inspiring, and I just thought it would be something great for the team to hear.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's fun because you and I have had a relationship for ever since the beginning, And oftentimes we'll get on the phone and we'll start talking about different things and get really excited. And it's like, okay, we got to get this in front of everybody else. And, I do a lot of self-development. I do a lot of, I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I watch a lot of videos and stuff. And I encourage everybody on this call, everybody that's in the business, to go out and do the same. We all need a coach. We all need, these kinds of things that are putting all the positive stuff and all the things that will help us grow, on a daily basis into our heads, and just, make sure that we're feeding our minds with things that we can learn something new every day. And so I try to really grab a hold of something new every day, so I can continue that process just for my personal growth. But it bleeds over into business and into the relationships that I have with many of you out there as distributors all the time. It's really, really phenomenal. One of the things that Pastor Denise and I were talking about recently was the presentations, and I've had an opportunity to take a look at some of the presentations that are out there that are being used at PTPs, and a lot of what we have out there right now was really, or is really great for your webinars, for your online type presentations that you're doing. And I've from a speaker's role in the past, and from doing presentations myself, I've done a lot of studying on presentations, and the topic kind of came up recently about using the same type of presentation that we had for the previous division and that we now have for this division, whether or not that's the best way to go out and present the information. And based on some things that I had learned in the past and some things that I picked up recently, I started looking at some of the presentations, and I started watching some of the people that were doing the presentations, and I thought, maybe we can change some of the things to simplify it, make it a little bit more duplicatable for new people that are coming in, that are getting ready to do the first TTP. Maybe they're not doing the whole presentation the first time around, but it's only going to be, 2-3 TTPs into it that you're going to be up in front of the audience, up in front of everybody, and you're going to start doing presentations. So we really want to make sure that it's simple, it's duplicatable. And so talking about presentations and kind of putting the presentation together, we were talking about the fact that we have a lot of text on our presentations right now. We have a lot of pictures and a lot of text. And sometimes what happens is that takes away from you, the presenter, and the audience is no longer listening to the presenter. They're reading the slides. They're looking at the slides and paying attention to that more than they are paying attention to you. So as presenters, as speakers, what we want to do, obviously, is we want to focus on the audience. We want to have them think about the dream that we're presenting, this opportunity that we have here with 10. We want them to feel the emotion of the testimonies that we share, right? And we want them to obviously at the end take action and sign up, right? So think, feel, and do. And the kind of the thinking part, when you're presenting all of the information, it's nice that the audience is paying attention to you, and you might have some visual that just is on the slides that just enhances what it is that you're saying. So you're talking about the company, you're talking about Mel and Amy Gill, you're talking about the longevity of the company, the foundation, how long it's been around, and all of that, and you have a picture of Mel and Amy up there, you have a picture of the corporate office, just to kind of enhance what it is that you're talking about. And then that way you're not taking the audience's attention off of you to read all these bullet points that we have on the presentation. And again, not that the presentation that we currently have is bad, but it's more designed for your webinar type of thing, where they're not necessarily seeing you, or they see you in a video off to the side. So again, we want them to think. We want them to listen to you and pay attention to what you're saying as you present this information and put the dream in their head. And then again, the feeling of the emotion of the testimonies. We have so many testimonies out there that we could easily just kind of pull from a couple of those and put them into the presentation. And then at the end, you're asking them to take action and sign up. So eliminating, I think, some of the text and just using some pictures to enhance Pastor Denise and I are working on a little bit of that with a presentation right now. So maybe sometime here in the real near future, we'll have something that you guys can look at and, kind of judge it yourself and say, yeah, I like that, or no, I don't like it, and we'll kind of go from there. Let's see. What is something else that we were talking about with the presentation? The images, again, just something to enhance. Powerful images, but something that, just really enhances what you're talking about. Less is really more. Just like when you're recruiting, the more you say, the more you kind of get out there and kind of, for lack of a better phrase, throw up on people with the opportunity and give them too much information. The same with presentations. The less that you have on the slides, least amount of information that you have on the slides, at least when it comes to text, the better, because it really is more in this case, because again, you're the one that's actually presenting the information. You want them to pay attention to you. So anything that in a TTP that's over 20, 30 minutes, you start to lose people, right? Especially in the sense of, they're sitting there, they're reading on the slides and their eyes are kind of glossed over kind of thing, right? You start losing them. But if they're paying attention to you and you're excited, that's the other thing. Make sure you're really excited when you're doing your presentation. I know a lot of times you get up in front of somebody in your very first TTP and one person shows up. And you're like, I'm the type of person that really draws on the energy, and I need a lot of energy to be excited. But, if you can get yourself in a state of mind prior to delivering this, where you're really excited, you're really, flowing with all kinds of energy that you're putting out there, then it doesn't matter if it's just one person or if it's 10,000 people, they're going to feel your excitement. They're going to get excited. Selling stories. Again, the testimonies that we have when you're doing the presentation, obviously we have so many stories, we have so many testimonies on the product, and I hear them all the time on your morning call, and it's just amazing. We try to capture some of that stuff and put it on Facebook, but there's so much of that out there from Facebook and from the calls and stuff like that it's so easy to just take some of the stories, some of the real powerful stories, and present those during your presentation so people can actually feel it. And a lot of times they relate to it, and they say, okay, now I can relate to the product. I have diabetes. I have this. I have that, blah, blah, blah. They can relate to it. But same with a compensation plan. You're trying to get people to dream. You're trying to get people to realize the opportunity that's in front of them. A lot of people right now in the world will say that they're in a good place financially, but we know they're not. And you and I have been in the same place, financially, life is up and down. So, you go out and you talk to people all the time and get them in front of the information, and, they might act like, they're doing really well, but deep down inside, you tell the story about the compensation plan and how people have become successful. Pastor Denise, you have a great one. Vicky Soto, two-car Vicky Soto, another great one. I mean, there's so many people in the company that have amazing stories about what this compensation plan has done, that when you start telling some of these stories, how powerful they are from where you were in the beginning to where you are now, people start to relate to that. They can really internalize that. And then they start to get that, if you can do it, I can do it. And then bam, we get to the action. Now let's sign up. I think one of the biggest things when you're talking about doing a presentation that I would probably close with is when you get up in front of people to do a presentation, you have to know your content. So especially if you don't have what I call your speaker's notes on your slides, which is all that text that we're talking about eliminating, you have to rehearse, record yourself. And I always encourage people, get in front of a video camera, whether it's a camera, your phone, or it's a camera on the computer, or it's an actual video camera on a tripod. Get in front of it and actually do the presentation by yourself. Or if you have somebody that's in the house, do it with them. So you can watch it and look at the things, because you're your own worst critic. You can look at the things that you like, that you don't like. You can change those things. And then when it's time for you to get up in front of somebody at a 10 tasting party, when it's time for you to get up in front of the big crowd and do the presentation, you're prepared. And you don't even need your slides, but you have them there, again, to enhance what it is that you're talking about. So that's really all I had on the presentation. And again, not that what we have out there today is bad by any means. I just think that, with all of that information that's on there, it's great for a webinar. But, it's sometimes a little hard to duplicate with all that information that's on there. So if we take it and we make it a little bit more duplicatable, I think we'll have more people that are able to take it and run with it right away, right out of the gate. So.
Okay. Now, Robert, a couple of things I wanted you to share, but before you get into that, I wanted to, because you mentioned earlier about Q&A, if anyone had any questions that you can help them with. And I think maybe the best way to address that is if we have the team leaders on the speaker line, like Vicki, Denise, Pastor Dale, Mr. T, all those who know what their team's concerns are. If you're on the speaker line, if you can just bring those questions to Robert on behalf of your team. So team members, if you know your leaders on the call, if you could just text your question to your leader, to Vicki or to Denise or to Lynn or Pastor Dale or Mr. T, and then if you guys can be on, if you're on the speaker phone, then you can get those questions to Robert. So while that's taking place, Robert, you also mentioned something that the Spanish team was doing I thought was really encouraging, and that was like the call center. Where they were coming together. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So you want to share that?
Yeah.
And then you mentioned also something about making sure that we're still using the fast track. So I thought those two things are really good topics to share.
Yeah. So recently I had a conversation with one of the gals that's out here on the Spanish team, and she was talking about getting together with her team and making phone calls. And I know a lot of times they get together and they'll go out and, they'll just kind of go out together. And I know Memo's done it in the past when we first started, they'll take a group of people out and they'll just go hit the streets and they'll just go talk to people as they're going about their day, if you will, right? Well, recently the conversation I had was along the same lines, but instead of going out and meeting people one-on-one, they all came together in a group in an area where they were just on the phones at the same time, and they could hear each other talking. They could hear the conversations that they were having as they, went down their list, and they started calling more and more people, kind of dialing for dollars, if you will. And what happened was you get all this synergy and all this energy in the room because everybody's doing what needs to be done to build the business, right? Everybody gets that excitement, and you start to learn things. You start to hear things that somebody else said, and you're like, I like that. I'm going to use that on my next call, or, this, that, and the other. And you start to kind of develop some tools that help you even further because you're now in a group of people that are all doing the same thing, just like events, right? We go to events, why? So everybody's getting the same information, all the excitement's there, all the energy's there. So when you leave, everybody's just ready to explode and make all these phone calls and get, more people in front of the information. Well, same with this, they got together and they're making a bunch of phone calls and they're learning from each other what works, what doesn't work. And they're building all this energy and all this excitement and all this synergy together as a group, as a team. And it's just, you can watch in the next couple of weeks how many guests they have in their TTPs. You can watch how many appointments they have for one-on-ones. You can see the results because now their volume starts to go up, and now there's rank advancements. People are qualifying for their cars, and it starts to snowball all because they came together as a team and they started working together. It's really, really powerful. So if you have a team that's close to you, if you have a group of people that live in your area, get together. Figure out a time that you can get together and just, make your list, bring your list, and just start dialing for dollars in a group setting where, you can hear this person, they can hear you, and you guys can kind of learn and develop what works best. And then as you go along your list, you're going to find, I got another appointment. I got more people, more guests coming to the TC next week. And then from there, you start to see the production. You start to see people signing up. You start to see people, you start to see your volume go up, and then you start realizing the rank advancements and everything. I mean, it just becomes very duplicatable and very successful. So it's really exciting to see because, I've not only heard the stories of them getting together and actually making the phone calls, but I've seen the results after that. So I think it's very powerful.
Mm-hmm. That looked very powerful. I shared that with our team Thursday at CTP. I think we had a leaders meeting, and they kind of liked it, like, wow, that's a good idea. And I could see how effective it could be, because if you have a group of your team members together all in one room, and everyone's just making cold calls, just going through your phone or taking the business cards you've collected, and you're just calling, setting up appointments to come to the TTP, whatever day of the week you have them set up. But it's the energy that's formed from everyone that's in the room. When you got like 5 or 10 people in the room, everyone's making calls at the same time, like a what is it? They call it a phone-a-thon or something like that. You got these calls.
Like a boiler room, like a call center.
Yeah, it's like a call center. And everyone's excited. Your confidence level is up because you're surrounded by all this positive energy. Everyone's excited. There's smiles on your face. People can hear the excitement coming through the phone. So who's not going to say no to, I want to be there, be a part of what you're doing. And you're not alone. You're right there. If you have a question, get stuck on it with someone that can answer it for you, and you get that call, you knock it out, and you go to your next call. And that way you have your customers, your prospects all lined up that week and the following week to attend the TTPs. And like Robert said, he's already seen a tremendous result from that happening in the Spanish team. They're setting these appointments up through these call centers, and people are coming out to the meetings based on the energy that's coming through those calls. So I thought, and the team thought that was a great idea when I shared it with them last week.
Yeah, and Mel says it all the time. If you're not having fun in this business, you're doing it wrong, right? And so you can have fun with it. Grab a bell, or everybody claps when someone says, "Hey, I got another appointment." You can cheer them on, and again, all of that just raises the excitement, and everybody just you've got all this energy going into it, and it just makes it so much fun to get together as a team and do that, because you and I both know. I mean, there's days where that phone is the 1,000-pound weight. And I got to give it up. Nikisha Bond this morning again, Mondays. I mean, the training is just phenomenal. She knows how to bring it, and I love listening to her. She's got the golden nuggets. If you guys aren't listening to Nikisha on Mondays, you got to make sure that you're on that call. Or you're listening to the recording, because she brings she this morning, she was all about accountability. It was all about, hey, check yourself. The things that you got to do. And it's like that 1,000-pound weight, that phone that, you got to make the calls, and now you're down to your chicken list, right? The people that you're too afraid to call because they might say no, blah, blah, blah. But, that's the time you just need to be persistent and consistent and just, pick up the phone and just do it and get together, bring your chicken list with you to a group of people and make the phone calls, there with that, because, you might get somebody that is like, hey, I heard that call, and maybe if you say this, or maybe if you did that, and then you try that the next time and it works, and you're like, what? I never thought, right? And then bam, it sparks that energy, and now you're going through your chicken list, and it's like any other list you have, So it's definitely exciting. Definitely exciting. But,
okay, Robert, so before we go to Q&A, the fast track, and these are again, things that we already know. And, of course, if I'm not great news, we know that you're familiar with everything Robert's talking about. But the teams are growing. We have a lot of new representatives, a lot of new reps, a lot of new people who really just want to run with this. And sometimes we forget to use the recipe. We forget to use the blueprint. And it's always a good reminder. Reminded me, I'm like, oh, my gosh, that's right. I forgot we're not doing that. So you mentioned the fast track. So if you want to share that, then we can go and just see if there's anyone on the speaker line with questions. And then we can
it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's funny. It's so simple, but, again, we get so involved in building, and then sometimes we get into management mode, and then we go back to recruiting and building, and we get, we start to get a large organization that is signing up, but we're so busy that we forget some of the things, that are kind of some of the basic things. So the fast track is again one of the pieces that will really help your team get off to a really fast start, and at the same time it's duplicatable, so that way when they start bringing people in and they start signing people up, you don't necessarily have to be right there holding their hand because you've already gone through it with them and they know how to do it because it's really simple. And so some of the things that we were talking about is, obviously you're making your calls, you're getting somebody to the TTP, they decide they want to sign up, and bam, right there, my idea, and I'll just share kind of, my opinion of how this should go, and you can take it for what you will, and then, go from there, tweak it from there. But if I were signing somebody up, the first thing I would do is say, okay, give me 3 people that you want to be in business with. Right now, write down 3 names, 3 phone numbers, and let's make the phone calls right now, right? Make those 3 phone calls with them so you get 2 things out of the way. 1, they see how a phone call goes, and 2, you might get their first sign-up or at least their first invite to the next TTP right out of the way. So then when you go into okay, here's your first 24 hours and what you need to do in your first 24 hours, right? Make your list, start making phone calls. They already know what they have to do because you just sat there and did it with them, okay? And then when they sign somebody up, what do? They do the exact same thing. How serious are you? Do you see this being part-time for you? Do you see this being full-time for you? Give me 3 names right now. Let's make the phone calls, right? And very easy, very duplicatable. And then you go into the first 24 hours. What do you need to do in the first 24 hours? What do you need to do in the first 72 hours? And then, once that 24 hours is up, and you've given them their homework basically to do, follow up with them. How did it go, right? Answer any questions they might have. And then they're on to their 72 hours and what they need to do in their 72 hours, right? And they're continuing to make phone calls. They're inviting people to the first TTP that they're setting up at their home, or, depending on how you guys have it set up, maybe you're doing all your TTPs at the country club location. It all just depends on how you guys are doing it. But in the first 72 hours, they should already have all of that nailed down and be able to go and invite people to the next TTP, have somebody sign up and duplicate exactly what it was they were shown how to do, because you took the time right then and there as soon as they signed up to show them how the business works, right? Obviously, you're going to go through their back office with them. You're going to teach them all, that kind of administration stuff as well. But the important stuff is that you have this really simple, duplicatable system. All it is, the basics. Nikisha talks about it all the time. Pastor Denise, you talk about it. Pastor Dale talks about it. Vicki talks about it. Denise Moore talks about it. Spanish team is talking about it and doing it all the time. You guys are all doing it. Some of us just kind of, we get busy or we fall off or, whatever the case, and we just kind of need to get back to the basics of make the list, make the phone calls, invite people and get them in front of the information, become a professional inviter, be a professional network marketer. This is my business. I'm going to go. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And as soon as it gets to the point where you're feeling like this is, kind of monotonous, that's when you just need to continue to do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again. Just start seeing the results. And then when you start seeing the results, that's where more of the excitement builds up. And then, you just keep going. The momentum is there, and you continue to go and go and go and go. So the fast track, really, really important. Right as soon as they sign up, make the first 3 phone calls. Give them the homework for the first 24 hours. Give them the homework for the first 72 hours. Follow up with them. Make sure that they're staying on track, and just continue to go. And I think it's so simple and so duplicatable that they won't have to have you holding their hands all along the steps within the first weeks, within the first month or whatever, because you've given them something that's very easy to follow and duplicate. And most people, that come into this industry are not network marketers, and they're not necessarily seasoned network marketers. They're coming in from an employee standpoint, from an employee mindset, and they're used to being told what to do from a very young age, from parents, from siblings, to aunts and uncles, to teachers, to all throughout life, told what to do, having the job. And then you come in here and it's like, okay, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, take it, go. Right? So if we give them, when you get a new job, what do you get? You get training, right? That's the first thing you get, and then you go after training, then you go and you do your job. So with a fast track, it's kind of that training. You know, you give them a little bit, you give them some homework to do, you follow up with them, and you give them kind of not necessarily telling them what to do, but, you know, this is how to be successful. If you're serious about being successful, here you go. Let's, you know, follow this. It's proven. It's duplicatable. It's simple. It's easy. Let's go. Right? So
and that's
I think that's what we're...
Yeah. That's what we were doing from the beginning. And it does. It works. It does work. But, you know, as you grow and you move, you get excited and new things that happen, new ideas come in. Sometimes I think we forget the blueprint, and that blueprint always brings us back into focus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things that we sometimes forget to do and is think about, you know, you got to put yourself in a state of mind. You know, right before you're making phone calls, right before you go up into doing a TTT, before you go out to go about your day. You know, you're going to be talking to people. Put yourself in a state of mind that gets you ready to go have these conversations or present or make phone calls with people by thinking about why you signed up. What is your why? And get yourself to first thing in the morning to start thinking about your why and get it to the point where you're thinking about it, you're building up all that emotion to the point where you're just ready to cry and then go out and just nail it. Just go out and crush the day, you know. Because if you can get yourself in that state, then, you know, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. I don't care if you get 10 no's, your first 10 people you talk to are no, you can't be stopped because you've got your why right in front of you. So you just go to that 11th person who says yes, and you're like, yes, that's what I work for. That's what I put myself in the state. That's what this is all about. You know.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Robert, thank you. Thanks a lot. I'm enjoying it. I'm sure everyone else is benefiting from what's being shared on the call. Right now we're going to go ahead and go to Q&A before we close out. I do have one question that's coming from Denise Moore's team. It's from Pat Tolliver. And Pat wants to know how do they get, how they get people where they can find the Monday through Friday rebroadcast. So the calls that are recorded Monday through Friday, They're trying to share those calls. So they want to know how to get access to them. I'm not sure if Terry's on the line, but Terry, unless you have that information, Robert, how they can get that.
Yeah, no. Corporate doesn't take the calls and put them anywhere per se, but I know Terry Whitener. He's been doing it for a long time. He's out here in California. The guy is amazing. He's taken his time away from building the business to record the calls, and he puts them up on YouTube. If you just do, and he puts them on Facebook too. There's a lot of groups within Facebook, and he's posting in Facebook all the time. So if you're a part of Facebook, if you're in Facebook, or if you're not in Facebook, you can find him on YouTube. But every single day, he's got the recorded calls from the morning. May not be right away, but, you know, an hour later, 2 hours later, you can actually just go back and find within one of the Team Effort Network groups he's posting. And I can't remember if it's Generation or there's a couple of them. 10 Generation. Is that a closed group or is that an open group? Is that something
you have to, that's an open, well, no, you do have to be a request to be added to that group because we want to make sure we want to make sure just the 10 representatives are on that group. Because it's a lot of information, training information we give to the reps. So that's TEN, and you got to, the way you type it in on Facebook, Pat Howard, if you're listening, if you go to Facebook, or if you send me a friend request, I can make you part of that page. But you would just type in TEN, but you have to be T.E.N, and then ACES is Tenacious Generation Facebook page. And Terry does post every one of those calls on that Facebook page every day. Everything.
So then the other thing to note beyond that, you know, now, Pat, you're a part of the group, but you want to send these, these conference calls to people that aren't in 10 yet and stuff like that, or maybe to new members of your team that aren't in the group page 10 Generation. All you have to do is you click on that video, and down below, if you mouse over the video, down below you'll have some options. And one of those options is share. if the people that you're trying to get the video to are on Facebook, you can literally just share it right to their wall or in a private message if you don't want to spam their wall. I suggest not spamming their wall unless they give you permission. But you can share it as a private message with your friends that are on Facebook and say, here's the information that I was telling you about. Listen to this call. We had, great training this morning, or we had a great testimony this morning, blah, blah, blah. And, listen to the call tomorrow. We have a powerful speaker on tomorrow as well. Hope you can make it, kind of thing, whatever it is that you say. But if they can't make it to the actual call, then, Terry's always recording them. And bless his heart. I mean, he's done such a phenomenal job for so long. Yeah. So, any Q&A? Any takers?
Yeah. Do we have anyone on the speaker line that have any questions?
Yes, Robert. This is Paul Jackson. How you doing?
Hey, Paul Jackson. I'm fantastic. How are you?
Before I ask my question, first I wanted to thank you and give proper acknowledgement for all that you've done and all that you continue to do to enhance what we do in the field, and what you provided as far as the graphs and the information about the product. All this has been to our enhancement and has been very complimentary to the retail part of what we do, is moving the product and exposing people to this phenomenal business. So I want to thank you for that.
I love this guy, and I didn't even have to pay him. Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
It might cost you in this question, though. Okay, so right into this one. Right? Okay.
Here we
All
go.
right. With moving from a venue from the house to a venue of the country club, which we have here on the East Coast, we're very fortunate to have a beautiful setting that really brings about a professional appeal. And my question to you is, we know moving from a home setting to one which would be comparable to being in a hotel setting, the participation is a lot different in the home than it is in that kind of venue. What would you suggest that would complement enhancing the attendance in form of an invitation to get more people who are representatives to come out and provide this support, along with bringing their potential guests or business associates? Because we've had attendance where some guests outnumbered the representatives, okay? And we're thankful for the growth. I mean, we're not complaining, but we want more participation, and we want to increase the numbers. So what would you suggest in the form of an appeal or invitation?
Right. A couple of things. Great question. I think part of the fast track, right? Let people know that right out of the gate, this is part of the job, right? This is part of building your business, not the job, but this is part of building your business. Attending the event, extremely important. You know this as well as anybody. And those events don't necessarily just need to be corporate. Those need to be the 10 tasting parties. And when we're at the 10 tasting parties, you got to let them know. You dress professional, right? You come in with excitement. You bring your guests in if you have your guests. If you don't have your guests, you're there to bring the excitement. And when people are up in front of the group and they're presenting, the presenter may ask a question. You want to have excitement in your voice to project that there's excitement in the crowd for the guests to feel that energy, right? And you just let them know from the very beginning, this is part of it. This is part of building the business. You need to come to the 10 tasting parties. You need to be a part of it, participate so you can be a part of the team. And this is how we grow the team, right? So that's one thing that will kind of get them right out of the gate that, here, this is part of what I have to do, right? I've got to make the list. I've got to do this, that, and the other. But part of it is I need to go to the 10 tasting parties. I need to invite people to get in front of the information and do it in a professional manner. You're professional network marketers out there. You're presenting a business opportunity to people, and I think the more people you get that in their mindset right out of the gate, the more people that you'll have participating in this. For those right now that maybe aren't attending because maybe life happened. I mean, you never know what's going on, but for whatever reason, it sounds like you might have, less attendance with the current representatives. My thing, go out and recruit more. Go out and especially, think about who you're recruiting. You want to go out there because we're still very much in our infancy with this opportunity, with this division. So I remember when we first started, I used to listen to Pastor Dale, and he would talk about, I'd give you 30 seconds. If you're not what I want in 30 seconds, I'm out. I'm gone. And I used to love that. I'm like, yes, it's aggressive, and it's, it was fun to listen to. And I think about, the people that we want to get in right now to this opportunity. We always want to go out there and help everyone, right? We always want to get everybody into this and help everyone out. For right now, because we're in such an infancy stage still, the thing that you want to do is you want to look at the business professionals. You want to look at the people and recruit up at people that are playing at a level above who you are. Because here's the thing. A lot of times we think that, the people that are at the C level in corporations, the people that are the doctors and the dentists and the attorneys, they're too busy, or they never look at something like this because they're already successful. When in fact, it's proven that those are the people that are the go-getters. They're the risk takers, and they're the first ones that will look at an opportunity if it's an opportunity that's presented right? So don't be afraid to go out there and look at the business professionals and talk to the business professionals about an opportunity like this, because I don't care how much money you're making. Every time you make more money, you make more bills, right? Mm-hmm. And we've had the conversation time and time again about doctors that are out there that, doctors make a lot of money once they reach a certain level. But the problem is they pay a lot of money in insurance. Mm-hmm. And so when it comes down to their net profit, not really as much money, and then their student loans and everything, not really as much money as you would think the doctor makes. So people are always looking for opportunity, even at that level. And when you get somebody at that level to come in, and you get more and more people that are playing at that level, then you start building an organization and a foundation of business professionals that are go-getters, and all they want you to do is give them the information, get out of their way, and all of a sudden your volume just explodes, right? So, don't necessarily always rely on who's on the team right now, because again, life happens. Sometimes things get in the way, and somebody can't attend right now. And if you're in that situation, you just gotta touch base with them, find out where they're at, see if they need your help, or if there's anything that you can do to help them out. Just kind of take temperature once in a while, but continually go out there and look for business professionals to come in and be, because you got to find your aces. And even if you have your two, go on and find two more. What's the harm in finding two more? So continually get out there and go, talk to people and present the information. And eventually you'll build this thing so big and so strong. And it's time. Network marketing is time. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not something that's a get-rich-quick scheme or an instant, kind of gratification thing. It takes time to build an organization, especially when you're building foundation, right? And you don't want to build the foundation on sand, so you want to make sure that you're out there, talking to the right people, and eventually you'll get all these aces. You'll get all these people that they understand, especially if you're putting it in the fast track. They understand that this is a part of it. This is what I need to do. And then if you've got it in the fast track, then you don't have to go back later and say, hey, why are you not attending? Or, hey, we need your support. Because they already know. They already understand that that's part of it. So hopefully that was, I know it was long-winded, but hopefully that answered you.
No, I got a lot from that, and that was very helpful. The second part of that was, we know how important it is to be a product of the product. Mm-hmm. Which one of our sprays has most impacted you? They're all good, but which one has had the biggest impact on you?
Yeah, I'd say two of them. I'd say Cell Energy, because I use it personally for energy. I need to pick me up, or I need something I'm getting ready to get on a call and, I need a quick pick-me-up on 15 minutes before a call, our monthly corporate calls when we have those, I'll take cell energy, and that really works for me. I love that product. But then on the other hand, I have myself and my kids on D-Power, and I kid you not, since we've been taking vitamin D3, I don't get sick. My kids don't get sick, at least not the type of sickness like your flus and all that kind of stuff. And when you have kids, they're constantly bringing stuff home from school, right? And I have friends that are always sick, and I'm like, how are you sick in the summertime, right? How are you sick again? And myself and my kids, we don't get those types of illnesses anymore. And the only thing that we've done different, because, I'm not great at watching what I eat. I'll be honest. I'll kill a pizza real quick, but I think, honestly, that because I have myself and the kids on the D-Power, we don't experience, when the weather changes, all these flus, and when the Christmas time comes around, all these flus, and you hear about all this stuff once in a while in the news that the parents are talking about, this happening and that happening when it comes to these new illnesses that are out there. I don't even worry about it. I don't, the parents, I'll go to the school because I, take my kids to school and pick them up, and parents are talking about, oh, did you hear about this sickness and that? And you got to be careful and blah, blah, blah. I do not even worry about that stuff. My kids go to school and they say, oh, little Johnny was sick or little Susie was sick, blah, blah, blah. And I don't worry about it because I know that they're constantly spraying every day with the D-Power. And it's been phenomenal for us. So those two alone, obviously we have major testimonies, a lot of testimonies about the other products, but those two alone are the ones that have done it for me.
Okay. Okay, do we have any other questions in the queue? Anyone else want to speak on this?
Hey, yes. Pastor Dale, can you hear me?
Hey, Claire, we can hear you.
Hey.
How are you?
All right. I'm good, sir. How are you?
Fantastic. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah. Well, I know we need to wrap up the call, but since you made mention of this, I think I want to segue in with a question to it. One of the fastest ways we can really get people building and get new people on these calls and into the seats for a presentation is to, really get them in front of Mel Gill. And he just, he has the ability to bring it. What are we doing? I know we haven't had a jumpstart call for 3 months. Have we discontinued it? A lot of people questioning and asking, what's going on, what's happening. We're looking forward to those calls. You guys revisiting that? What are we doing with the jumpstart?
Yeah, no, I don't think we definitely haven't discontinued it. I don't think it's a matter of, anything other than we just got really busy with the focus on the office move and with, the focus of all the expansion and then all the traveling overseas that Mel and Amy have been doing. There's just been a lot going on, so we just have not had a few. But let me touch base with them. And I know, you get in front of Mel and he gets passionate and it's exciting. It's fun to listen to him. I get excited. I don't even need cell energy when he gets on the phone. So let me touch base with them and let's find out what we can do possibly for next month. But I have not had any type of conversation at all whatsoever with either of them that have said, we're not going to do these anymore or anything like that. I really honestly think that we just got really busy over here with everything that's going on. We're seeing a lot of momentum. We're seeing a lot of expansion, and again, with the move to the new office and everything, it just kind of took the focus. So great question. I'm glad you brought it up. I know a lot of people get on those calls and they get really excited to hear from Mel and Amy. And so let me revisit that with them and let's see what we can do about maybe getting something next month. Absolutely.
Okay, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Fantastic. Good to hear from you. Well, Pastor Denise.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for inviting me to this call. I love always being on calls with you. You know, we have conversations all the time, and we'll sit and talk for hours.
Yes.
I keep you up way too late.
Uh-huh.
But
1 o'clock in the morning.
Right? Yeah. You're young. You're 21. You can handle it.
Because it's praise. Thank God for the praise.
Right. Exactly. But it's always a pleasure to be on with you guys, and it's so much fun to, you know, when we go to events and stuff, to actually meet you in person and just, you know, put the faces to the names and everything, and being on calls like this is so much fun for me. So thank you for those of you that are on this call. Thank you for those of you that chimed in and asked questions. And you know, if you guys need anything, obviously we're here. Corp is here. The ticket system's there. Please put tickets in. There's also the suggestions and feedback area in the tickets that I always try to promote. So if you just have a suggestion, you know, I can't promise that we're going to do everything that you put in there, but if you write a ticket and you put in the suggestions and feedback, you know, we look at that stuff and we compile that stuff. And so you get enough people putting something in there, obviously, you know, it's going to have some weight to it, and, you know, we take a look at it on a regular basis. So it's a great tool, and, you know, we're here for you.
Robert, okay, I want to thank you, but before we close that, I got one last question coming through. I'm not sure how we're going to get this in, but we have a representative who wants to know how they can get banners. And I know I do know banners are usually made up to the individual teams, but I don't know if you or corporate ever looked at any one specific place where banners can be made, or is that still left between the teams?
Yeah, I know we left a lot of that to the team just because they took the initiative to go out there and start making incredible banners. That, I mean, we're far better than what we put together as corporate. I mean, we had a couple of designs that we had our design team do, and then all of a sudden, you know, we had some graphics artists out there that were representatives that started putting phenomenal banners together. So, you know, we just kind of left it up to the teams. I would say, you know, if you're looking for something in particular, you know, we don't have it necessarily here through corporate at this time. I can, again, revisit that with Mel and Amy and see what their thoughts are. But I can also get in touch with the people who make those banners, and we can see if we can work something out between yourselves as far as getting something like that done.
I think that'd be great, because I know banners, you do play a big part in the presentations and TPPs, and when we go out to set up. I know I would love to order some banners myself. No,
absolutely. Yeah, let me work on that for you, and I'll just touch base with you, and then, you know, we can kind of filter it down from there, and, you know, we'll find out what we can get done for you. And I know that there's a lot of new areas that are having TCPs and trainings and stuff like that now that are starting to pop up, and again, I'm really, really just excited about everything that's going on. So we'll see what we can get done and put you in touch with the people that are making these and see if we can't get you some.
Great. Well, Robert Hicken, thank you so very much for spending the time with us. I sure hope everyone that's listening has taken something away from the call to be encouraged and willing to just share with your team. And just another little boost of energy to put into your day to get you going and enlighten you, to encourage you to continue to grow your team. This is mainly focused towards growing your team, ideas of what you can do to give people the TPPs. Remember the fast track, the blueprint, and the call center. I thought was a really good idea to incorporate in what you're doing. So, Robert, thank you very much. Family, that's it for today. I sure hope this is inspiring to you. And we will connect in the future. Talk to everyone tomorrow morning on the Team Effort Lifestyle Call, where you will continue to hear things that will move you from fact to faith to action. Once again, thank you all very much for being here this evening. God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.